Good morning. Welcome to the 2018 San Diego State All-University Convocation. I'm Brittany Santos-Derrig, President De La Torre's Chief of Staff. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Kumi Bird Singers, led by Blue Eagle Vigil from the Viejas Band of the Kumi Nation and Jamie LeBrake from the Sekwan Band of the Kumi Indians. The bird singers offer these songs to welcome you all to their traditional lands today and to tell the history of the Kumi people.
Ameli makutemele yo kunyawenya apotome kwayo ameli makutemele yo ameli makutemele yo ameli makutemele yo kunyawenya apotome kwayo ameli makutemele yo ameli makutemele yo ameli makutemele yo kunyawenya apotome wayo ameli makutemele yo ameli makutemele yo ameli makutemele yo otme chakule wayo chakule wayo wenya apotome wayo ameli makutemele yo ameli makutemele yo ameli makutemele yo chakule wayo chakule wayo wenya apotome wayo ameli makutemele yo ameli makutemele yo ameli makutemele yo kunyawenya apotome wayo ameli makutemele yo ameli makutemele yo ameli makutemele yo chakule wayo chakule wayo wenya apotome wayo ameli makutemele yo yeah hun thank you.
Thank you to the Kumi Bird Singers. We are honored to have you share these beautiful songs with us. I would now like to welcome again our guests with us today, who include faculty, staff, students, alumni, community leaders, advisory board members, and many others. Thank you for being here. I would also like to recognize our new faculty and staff. We are pleased to welcome you to the San Diego State University family. Sdsu is a wonderful and exciting place to work, to learn, to teach, and to do research. We look forward to the leadership, creativity, and energy you will bring to our campus community. Our wish is that your years at San Diego State will be both productive and rewarding, and we extend our most sincere welcome to you all. I would now like to acknowledge some of our university leaders and distinguished guests, members of the President's Cabinet, Academic Dean's Council, Sdsu Alumni Association Board, and our Associated Students Executive Officers. I would also like to welcome Dr. Ricky Shabazz, President of the San Diego City College. Would you all please rise and be acknowledged? Thank you for joining us. Our other guests joining us on stage are Professor from the School of Journalism and Media Studies and University Senate Chair Marcy Bober-Michel. President of Associated Students Chris Thomas. President of the Sdsu Alumni Association Aaron Getty. Interim Provost and Senior Vice President Joseph Johnson. President of San Diego State University Adela De La Torre. are 6 recipients of the Sdsu Alumni Distinguished Faculty Award. Please join me in welcoming them. It is now my privilege to recognize the recipients of this year's Presidential Staff Excellence Award. If you don't already know these fine individuals, I encourage you to greet them and get to know them. They are a wonderful group who collectively represent what is best about San Diego State. Will our awardees please stand when I call your names? Let's hold our applause until they are all introduced. The Collaboration Category awardees are members of the Learning Analytics Working Group: Emily Bates, Maureen Garcello, James Frazee, and Stephen Schellenberg. I'm not very good at holding my applause either, it's fine. In the Staff-to-Staff Mentoring category, our winner, Chia Her, counselor in the Office of Educational Opportunity Programs and Ethnic Affairs. Our honoree for service to the university is Pablo Bryant, site manager for the Santa Maria Ecological Reserve and our College of Sciences. In the auxiliary category, our winner is Eric Olson, Director of Facilities Planning and Management for the San Diego State University Research Foundation. Our honoree for community service is Bertha Hernandez, Administrative Coordinator with the Department of Chicana and Chicano Studies. In the innovation category, we recognize Wendy Sandoval, Administrative Support Coordinator with School of Exercise and Nutritional Sciences. And our final honoree is Cassie Stedman, Director of Advising and Evaluations in Enrollment Services, who is being recognized in the manager category. Congratulations. Our Staff Awardee Excellence recipients can be seated. Thank you very much for being seated. It's now my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, University Senate Chair Marcy Bober-Michel.
Good morning. So you know it's fall because I got my hair cut. Just saying. Thank you, Brittany. On behalf of faculty, staff, students, and administrators who serve in the University Senate, along with my fellow officers, Vice Chair Cesar Ornatowski, Secretary Bonatique, Parliamentarian Bill Eady, and our administrative analyst, Dania Brett, it's my pleasure as Senate Chair to welcome you to the new academic year. Though I'm obviously thrilled to welcome our incoming first-year and transfer students, I'm also pleased to welcome back our colleagues who've been gone all summer and our new faculty and staff. It's always such a pleasure to have new people on campus. It's obvious that an array of projects, big and small, mark the summer, and if you weren't here, you really missed a lot of fun getting around campus. It's a sure signal, though, that we're consistently tackling a physical infrastructure that was badly neglected for so many years. In addition, this will be EIS's first full year of operations, and we're making great progress on our several new residence hall projects. And the exuberant response to the video shown at our May graduation ceremonies confirmed for me that Trader Joe's is an established part of our footprint, along with the growing number of dining venues and catering options. Additionally, we continue on a forward path to increase our tenure-line faculty and embrace strategies that ensure admission of as many qualified students as possible, both first-year and transfers. But before we pat ourselves on the back, let's also pause to recognize some of the challenges we face. It's clear that to meet our aspirations, we must continually promote our accomplishments and our strategic mindset with the Chancellor's Office, for sure, state and federal level legislatures, research funders, potential donors, and sadly, sometimes our own city and county. As we all know, the state of California has yet to fully restore funding cut during the long ago recession So we must continue to think like entrepreneurs and act like entrepreneurs and cultivate new funding resources that allow us to grow and flourish. And I personally am disillusioned by the dismissive, disrespectful tone of our national rhetoric. Courtesy and acceptance are diminishing values that we have to work to save. Locally, that means that we have to commit to shared governance, to an environment where input is solicited and truly valued, and decision-making is transparent, more about discussion and conversation, and less about after-the-fact explanation. We must improve lines of communication between and amongst faculty, staff, and administration, guide students through an academic journey that at times seems bewildering even to us, be diligent about updating policies that no longer reflect our mission. That policy file is pretty old. Embrace emerging technologies without impinging on personal space or security. And perhaps most importantly in these troubling times, build a culture of inclusion and true appreciation of our differences. President De La Torre is an ally in this battle, eager to build on former President Roush's tremendous strides last year. And it is due to President De La Torre's spirit of collegiality that the Senate has a full agenda for this year. So just in case you thought we were going to slack off, here are some things we're going to work on, and that's just for the fall. We have an array of projects going on to monitor, including the Aztec Warrior education effort, reforms affecting general education and assessment, reforms affecting remediation and developmental education, rollout of Graduation Initiative 2025, rollout of the accelerated registration timeline, development and implementation of diversity plans which need to be included within faculty search proposals by the fall of 2020, and initial and experimental rollout of winter session, for some of you who've been here a long time, you remember it, in January 2019. We're also assisting with 4 dean searches, sciences, engineering, PSFA, and the library, and we will begin shortly with a search for the provost, although I would still like Joe to think about staying on for a little while. We are helping to form and monitor a task force that's charged with implementing curricular approval process reforms that the Senate approved in the spring. For us, it takes about 2 years. It can take up to 2 years to approve a course. We would like to make it more like 8 months, kind of real world. As I noted earlier, we're going to take a close look at some policies in the policy file that seem to have been written in about 1960 and no longer really apply to us. And finally, we're working diligently with a bunch of people to promote the precepts of shared governance via regularly scheduled yet informal events and also through direct trainings. I encourage you to learn more about the role Senate plays on campus and join committees that you can participate in to really make a difference. Read each of the monthly newsletters we intend to publish, and when our first issue goes live in mid-September, sign up for lunch with the officers. We actually have a budget now and we can pay for lunch. Ask your chair or director to make Senate actions an agenda item on at your faculty meetings. And when the next invitation is distributed about a week from now, please sign up to attend an Sdsu Mission Valley Open Forum and use the feedback form linked to that message to share your ideas. Take on a leadership role in making our campus great. Shortly, you'll meet just a few of our many leaders, in this case faculty, who help us provide a strong and innovative learning environment. They are the recipients of this year's Alumni Association Awards for outstanding contributions to the university, my director among them. I wish to personally congratulate each awardee for his or her accomplishments in teaching, research, and service. Finally, one of the great benefits of my position is the opportunity to work with student leaders. I'm so impressed by their dedication to Sdsu and their eagerness to engage their student colleagues and the larger community. It's this internal and unrelenting motivation that helps them balance all they do as officers with their studies. It's actually exhausting to watch them sometimes. I now have the good fortune to introduce one of those leaders, Chris Thomas. He is president of our Associated Students. Chris is a senior from Inglewood, pursuing a fitness specialist degree and a double minor in industrial and organizational psychology and leadership. Please join me in welcoming him.
Thank you, Dr. Bober Michelle. Good morning. I love this energy. Okay. I'm honored to speak with you all on behalf of the students at Sdsu. This is a historic and exciting time to be on campus. The cornerstone of Sdsu continues to be successful shared governance. It is a quality that sets Sdsu apart and allows students, faculty, staff, and administration to collaborate in order to accomplish more together. This past year was a productive one at Associated Students, and I would like to share some highlights with you all. We are proud that we can contribute to the Sdsu Global Citizen Experience. Associated Students awarded 783 study abroad scholarships, totaling $425,000. AS also launched the OFO bike sharing pilot program to help promote alternative transportation on campus. The Viejas Arena successfully hosted rounds 1 and 2 of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. In the Conrad Prebys Aztec Student Union, over 8,000 meetings and events were held, and the first student-run media studio was open for all students of any major to have access to state-of-the-art media equipment. It is affectionately named the Backdoor Studio to pay homage to the back door in the old Aztec Center that was the site of many intimate concerts by some memorable artists as they were starting out, such as Los Lobos and R.E.M. With the highest voter turnout in modern times, students voted to expand the Aztec Recreation Center, also known as the ARC, and fields on campus. More importantly, once implemented, all students will have access to the ARC and its programs to help support student health and wellness. Last fall, based on concerns of students, AS hosted an open forum about campus safety with Sdsu Police Chief Mays and other campus partners. This led to the establishment of the Campus Safety Committee, whose sole mission is to inform the Sdsu community of resources and address safety concerns. A successful Campus Safety Week was held last spring, and there are plans for another this fall. I am so proud that Associated Students also continues to help students on campus reach food security. During Aztecs Rock Hunger, the annual campus food drive, with the generosity of the Sdsu family, including our many campus partners, AS collected over 588,000 pounds of food. That's 588,000, a lot. Which went to the Jacobs and Cushman San Diego Food Bank, which serves San Diegans in need of food. Also, 20% of the monetary donations, a total of $19,000, came back to the Sdsu Economic Crisis Response Team to assist Sdsu students who are experiencing food or housing insecurity or other immediate unforeseen financial crises. The Aztecs Rock Hunger Collection also provides the food, including fresh produce, for the AS Food Pantry. At the food pantry, food insecurity resource education and CalFresh outreach is offered to students. Additionally, this past spring, through generous donations from Sdsu faculty and staff, AS coordinated the Swap Shop, which provided professional clothing to Sdsu students. It is so heartwarming to be a part of a campus that comes together to help both the larger San Diego community and Sdsu students. AS has a very transparent vision for this year. The year of heart. We will emphasize leading from the heart. We will show students through our actions that AS is here for them, cares about them, and advocates for them. We will be reaching out to students in intentional and direct ways. Just this week, we gathered over 70 of our AS leaders from both the San Diego and Imperial Valley campuses to discuss our vision and direction for the Year of Heart. We have so much planned for this year, and in collaboration with you all, we look forward to leaving our unique heartprint on Sdsu. Thank you. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce Provost and Senior Vice President, Joseph Johnson. And there's more. And Mr. Aaron Getty, President of the Sdsu Alumni Association. And now I got to tell you a couple details about them too, so I'm not leaving yet. Prior to his appointment as interim provost and senior vice president, Provost Johnson served as the dean of the College of Education and interim dean of the College of Extended Studies. In addition to his new role, Provost Johnson will continue his work with the National Center for Urban School Transformation, where he works to identify successful student achievement practices in the urban environment and bring them to struggling K-12 schools nationwide. Aaron Getty joined Considine & Considine in 1996 after graduating with a degree in accounting from San Diego State University. He enjoys working with his business owners on a regular basis, always talking about ways to improve their business while creating tax-saving strategies. As an avid supporter of San Diego State University and an active board member and now current president of the Sdsu Alumni, he enjoys attending Aztec games with his family. Please now join me in welcoming Provost Johnson and Mr. Aaron Getty. I'm done.
Sdsu is an extraordinary university, in large part because of our extraordinary faculty. Among them are masterful, inspirational teachers, phenomenal researchers, committed and engaged citizens of our university community, passionate leaders of their scholarly disciplines, both nationally and internationally, and compassionate servants of our Sdsu communities, and many who excel in all these areas of professional endeavor. Because of the generous support of our Alumni Association, each year we're able to honor one impressive faculty member from each of our colleges with the Sdsu Alumni Distinguished Faculty Award. It is with great pleasure that I stand before you today to recognize the remarkable achievements of this year's recipients of the Sdsu Alumni Distinguished Faculty Award. From the College of Arts and Letters.
When I started my career in the 80s, the map making was relatively crude. Maps were printed by superimposing numbers on numbers, letters on letters. When I compared the power of today's technology, there was a huge progress.
Dr. Piotr Jankowski is the chair of the Department of Geography, and for the past 25 years has been a leading researcher in geographic information systems.
Geographers get a lot of data today from satellite images, from aerial photographs taken by drones. Analyzing these volumes of data can be very instrumental in helping to answer big problems. How do we route traffic in a city? How do we manage our forest resources so that we don't deplete them too quickly? How do we mitigate the effects of global climate change?
Even while being chair of the Department of Geography, Piotr has remained very active as a researcher in the field and continuously produces publications on his own and in collaboration with his graduate students.
Dr. Jankowski serves as a dedicated mentor to his students and works hard to foster their academic success.
He is my academic dad. He keeps me to my deadlines. He gives me insightful comments on my research, and I've just had a great experience overall.
I'm constantly stimulated by what kind of golden nugget we can find in this huge volume of available data. That quest for discovering new facts, discovering new relationships motivates me to find pathways in how to sustain the world and how to make it livable for the next generation and the generations after that.
Dr. Piotr Jankowski. From the Fowler College of Business.
The average American has little concept of the risk of having their information out on the web. All of us have secrets that we don't want others to know, and yet those secrets are very easy to discover. What we have found is that bad people also have secrets they don't want you to know about. It's easy to attack somebody, but it's also easy to go back and find the bad guys.
Dr. Murray Jennings is a professor of management information systems and renowned expert in crisis response and cybersecurity. Dr. Jennings' latest research uses knowledge management tools to identify victims of sex trafficking online.
We were looking at advertisements on Backpage, Craigslist. They started using emojis or different symbols. Well, we figured out what these symbols meant, and now that's just like reading a book.
My knowledge management approach was to identify the language of the criminals, see how they hide from law enforcement, and use technology to stop that.
This research on human trafficking was driven by a student who was passionate about it. And she brought that passion to the project.
He is very good at focusing on what you want to do. He takes your interests and he turns them into projects, and he, facilitates other people's successes as well as his own.
Using the methods of knowledge management and the tools that Murray works with, we're able to structure data that is very unstructured using these techniques to try to help identify human trafficking victims.
Everything that's a threat to us becomes a crisis when it hits us. And so my future research is very much focused on identifying triggers of what's going to be a crisis ahead of time and prevent the crisis from happening.
Dr. Murray Jennings. From the College of Education.
Good morning, Dr. Fry! Good morning, Dr. Fry!
Dr. Nancy Fry is a widely recognized educational scholar. She is co-founder of Health Sciences High and Middle College, where she serves as Dean of Academic Affairs.
We talk so much with school leaders about the importance of collaboration, but if you don't live that, if you don't breathe what collaboration really is, then it doesn't have that same note of authenticity.
Dr. Fry has co-authored more than 40 books on literacy and instruction and has contributed to international conferences.
The kind of learners that we're really looking at fostering and building are those engaged and inspired learners. We want students who are learning about who they are today and who it is that they want to be tomorrow.
I came into this school hunched over, not really talkative. I was shy, drawn back. And now as a senior, I've grown so much with this program. It's been some of the best time of my life.
Nancy is an inspiration to future educational leaders.
Nancy really has changed my life. I remember when I decided not to attend school anymore. She talked to me about the importance of education, and she allowed me to see a clear path.
I wouldn't be here without Nancy. Nancy's like a little teddy bear. You get to come up and give her a hug, and she makes you feel special. Nancy's always taught me and everybody to think deeper.
My investment here, I hope in some way, is paying it forward and being able to invest not only in the lives of my own grandchildren, but in the lives of younger children that are coming along too. This is all about paying it forward. That what we do in education is we create conditions so that they can become the best people that they can be.
Dr. Nancy Fry. From the College of Health and Human Services.
Dr. Hala Madanat is a professor and the director of the School of Public Health. Hala's research explores the impact of westernization on diet. She has developed nutritional programs that emphasize mindfulness in everyday life. As an accomplished scholar, Hala advises students at the graduate and doctorate levels.
The best part of my job is the students, even though I'm an administrator. Both my parents were educators, and seeing their passion for education really inspired me to make this my career.
Hala makes it a priority to know what's happening in public health throughout San Diego County and beyond. So when a student comes to her and says, I'm really interested in a particular area, Hala knows exactly who to connect them with or what programs they should be working for.
Hala's passion for public health is evident in her commitment to the community.
We have a very exciting partnership with the County of San Diego Health and Human Services Agency. It's an opportunity for us as a school of public health to train our students and have them be part of the California and more specifically the San Diego workforce.
When I think of Hala, it's that deep sense of purpose and passion and advancing public health for all. That's what makes Hala Hala, and that's what makes us so excited about working with her as partners.
Hala has been an integral part of my success in the San Diego community. I'm so grateful for her, for not only her mentorship, but her ongoing support even after we leave school.
Oh, that was love. My goal is to make the School of Public Health the best it can be and train the next generation of public health professionals to impact health locally, nationally, and globally.
Dr. Hala Madanat. From the College of Professional Studies and Fine Arts.
My name is Beiling Shaw. I am in public relations, and I really hate people.
So good.
Okay.
I'll take one.
Public relations is about building relationships. You have to be trustworthy. You need to be open-minded, someone that others can relate to because they need to trust you to bring their voices to the table.
Through my education and my time with her, I've learned so much, and I just took that in and wanted one day to be as passionate and a rock star professional just like she was.
Dr. Bailing Shah is a professor and the director of the School of Journalism and Media Studies. Dr. Shah is the editor-in-chief of the Journal of Public Relations Research. She's also co-author of the 11th edition of Effective Public Relations, the world's leading textbook in the field.
Bailing is widely recognized for her work. When we recruited her, we knew we had a star because stars are sources of great energy, and that's a pretty good description of Bailing Shah.
I've had the opportunity to firsthand experience her advance as a teacher, a scholar, and as an academic leader. I'm so proud of her accomplishments, and she's so well deserving of this award.
The way Dr. Shah carries herself is to be genuine, to be compassionate, and go for what you want. She's exactly the kind of mentor, professor that I hope to become.
All individuals are a multitude of identities, and my identities as an educator, researcher, professor, and a director are really well supported by my identities as a wife and as a mother. And none of what I do would be possible without the support of my husband and my children, and for that I'm so grateful.
Dr. Bailing Shah.
We'll get you a wheelbarrow.
From the College of Sciences.
Earthquakes, an unpredictable force of nature. Dr. Thomas Rockwell has dedicated his life's research to understanding this powerful phenomenon.
Most of my work in earthquake geology is paleoseismology, and all that means is the study of past earthquakes. If you want to know what's likely to happen in the future, we study the past. The San Andreas Fault last ruptured about 300 years ago. Because it has now been so long since the last large earthquake, that tells us that the San Andreas is one of these faults which we know should rupture in the very near future.
So we're out here at Mecca Hills along the southern San Andreas Fault. We're using the drone to collect aerial imagery and also looking at some field measurements.
The main strand of the fault is running right through here, and we know that because of the crack.
Dr. Rockwell is considered an expert in his field, so it's nice to have someone with that type of clout. The kind of experience that I'm getting under him, I probably wouldn't have gotten a lot of other places, if at all, so I'm really thankful to be able to work with him and to learn from him.
As a professor of geological sciences, Dr. Rockwell has taught and mentored students for over 35 years.
Every student is different. You kind of have to accommodate and be flexible in the way you teach. I really want to see them think on their own. That's awesome. I love it. And I think problem solving is really where the future is, not just in geology, but virtually every discipline.
I think that Tom is a really good advisor because he's really focused on promoting his own students rather than promoting himself. and people really rely on his knowledge because he's a really good field geologist, probably the best I've seen.
Many things attracted me to geology. I used to collect rocks when I was a kid, and I've always enjoyed being outside. I enjoy field work all over the world, and that's been very rewarding.
Dr. Thomas Rockwell. Please join me in congratulating all of our faculty awardees. Last year was a year of achievement for our SDSU community. We will watch a short video that celebrates our achievements before we hear from President De La Torre.
We are SDSU. We are a diverse community of talented and passionate leaders and educators who make a difference in San Diego and beyond. Together, we produce exceptional graduates who make an impact inside our campus, around the city, across the border, and around the world. Not everything that counts can be counted, but the numbers do tell a story about the impact we've made in the last year. Here are just a few ways. SDSU continues to be recognized as one of the top universities in the nation. Hispanic Outlook and Higher Education magazine ranked SDSU in its top 100 colleges and universities for Hispanics. Campus Pride Index ranked SDSU in its top 25 list for LGBTQ-friendly colleges and universities for the 8th straight year. SDSU's sports MBA program was ranked number 4 both in the U.S. and internationally by Sports Business International. SDSU received a record 93,610 undergraduate applications for fall 2018. The Princeton Review named SDSU to its list the 200 schools that give you the best bang for your tuition buck. Forbes magazine ranked SDSU number 45 out of the 300 best value colleges and universities in the United States. Here's the rest of the story about SDSU's impact. We are a powerful economic driver, generating $5.67 billion in economic activity, supporting 42,000 jobs and creating $2 billion in labor income annually. Led by Associated Students, the Aztec Rock Hunger Food Drive collected a record 588,915 pounds of food in 2017 for the Jacobs and Cushman San Diego Food Bank, exceeding the campaign goal of 500,000 pounds. The Engineering and Interdisciplinary Sciences building with the university's very own MRI machine had its ribbon-cutting ceremony, a groundbreaking moment for the university's vision to lead in teaching and research excellence by fostering dialogue and collaboration across the disciplines. The Black Resource Center opened in March as a space for students, faculty, and staff to congregate, collaborate, and cultivate a unified sense of community. Associated Students opened the Backdoor Studio, a video and sound studio for the students of all majors to create and collaborate. The Undocumented Resource Area opened in May to support the academic success of all our undocumented students and those from mixed status families. More than 3,000 SDSU students had an international experience just last year, and the university was ranked number 8 nationally for the number of students studying abroad. SDSU erected a permanent donor wall on campus to recognize those who contributed $100,000 or more to the campaign for SDSU, which concluded June 30th, 2017, with a total of $815 million raised. Chase Whitaker, who graduated in May with a double major in public health and political science, received the second annual Zahn Spirit of Innovation Award for exceptional entrepreneurial achievement. Alejandro Arias, a food and nutrition major, was named the 2017 Trustee Emeritus Ali C. Razi Scholar, the highest research award for a CSU student. SDSU welcomed 3 new deans: Barry Chung in the College of Education, Stephen Hooker in the College of Health and Human Services, and Radhika Seshan as the new dean of the College of Extended Studies. Sports have continued to create a sense of pride and enthusiasm in our community. Our Aztecs football team beat Stanford 20-17 and rose to the number 19 ranking during the season, matching their highest ranking since 1978. Volleyball head coach Deetra Collins-Parker earned her 300th career victory. Rashad Penny was selected by the Seattle Seahawks in the first round of the NFL Draft, and fullback Nick Bodden was selected by the Detroit Lions in the 7th round. Men's baseball team broke into the top 25 National College rankings in March. Ashley Henderson was named the 2018 Mountain West Women's Indoor Track and Field Student Athlete of the Year, and for the first half of the year broke the 100-meter record and became the fastest woman in the world. The women's lacrosse team won its first ever conference title. We are making headlines. Jennifer Thomas from the Department of Psychology was awarded a NIH Merit Award in recognition of her scholarly work, working in the field of fetal alcohol syndrome. Her award brings the number of active Merit Award winners at SDSU to 5, which places us in the top 5 public universities in California for current NIH Award winners. The Daily Aztec won Best College Newspaper in this year's Excellence in Journalism Awards from the San Diego Press Club. School of Communication professor Wayne Beach was awarded the 2017 Distinguished Scholar Award from the Western States Communication Association for his research on cancer communication. Of course, we can't forget that we bid farewell to President Sally Rausch, and that we welcomed President Adela de la Torre to lead the next chapter of San Diego State University as its 9th permanent president. This is a very exciting time to be an Aztec, to continue building on the strong foundation that has made SDSU one of the most sought-after universities in this country, with student graduation and continuation rates that rival and in some cases exceed those of the UC, with more than 300,000 living alumni who have won Oscars, Emmys, Grammys, Sundance Awards, Tony Awards, and are members of every major sports Hall of Fame. And together, along with our faculty, students, and staff, we can look forward to exploring what distinguishes SDSU and what opportunities may lay ahead. Together, we are San Diego State University. Go Aztecs!
And now, please join me in welcoming San Diego State University's president, Dr. Adela de la Torre.
I think I have this on. Yes. Okay. Buenos dias and welcome to 2018's University Convocation. Wow, I know these few minutes of footage capture only a fraction of the many accomplishments of this year. There's so much to be proud of. Let's give ourselves a big round of applause. I really am humbled and honored to be here with you today to share with you what has been happening since I officially assumed my role as the 9th president of the university. But first, I want to emphasize that this is just the beginning of what I hope will be an ongoing dialogue. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to start this conversation. Last January, when Chancellor White announced that I would become SDSU's president and the first female to serve in this role, I was overwhelmed with emotion. I was in the car with my husband, Steve, when I got the news. I just screamed. I was so ecstatic. The idea that I'd have this opportunity to lead this flagship institution with a history of path-breaking, innovative work in teaching, research, and community service was beyond what I could have imagined. Looking back at my 35 years in higher education, being here with you is more than a dream come true. It's an opportunity for us to reimagine, create a collective vision that will prepare our students in this global economy. Whether they're first-generation students, adult learners, undergraduates, graduate students, we have this wonderful opportunity. Now, most of you have been at SDSU much longer than I have, so please indulge my exuberance as I revel with fresh eyes in this great privilege to lead an institution with such unique regional presence that provides a platform for unprecedented national and binational influence. Both the geographical and distinctive attributes of this university place SDSU at a crossroads of a profound national narrative that is capturing the hearts and minds of people across the hemisphere and the world. All of you are part of that profound narrative. I still remember the first time I crossed the U.S.-Mexico border as a child with my mother, sisters, and cousins. I was crossing San Diego to Tijuana. My eyes were wide open. It was the first time that I'd crossed the border, and I began realizing I belonged in two distinct worlds, and these were intricately connected. As I listened to the syncopated rhythm of my home language, the Spanish of my roots, every syllable hit me from every direction to remind me that I was part of a narrative much richer than I could have imagined. Tightening the grip on my cousin's hands, I wondered for the first time where I truly belonged in this newly discovered world with tangible and metaphorical lines that divide me from my extended kin. The wonderment is still with me today as I see the relevance of those memories to this time in history for San Diego State University. When I think about the issues that we face today, I realize that too often the tendency is to see the barriers, the problems, the differences that divide us. But the real opportunity, if we listen closely, if we think deeply, and if we pay attention, is to see the bonds that bind us, both as a community and as a campus. Today, more than ever, SDSU sits at the crossroad where we can build on our legacy, our strength, and a capacity to serve the uniqueness of each student, staff, and faculty member. In this process, together, we can develop a collective vision for the future, and we can capitalize on our regional position. During the last 2 months, I've been on a listening tour. I've heard from faculty, staff, students. I've heard their unique but always heartful expressions of love for this campus. In different ways, I've heard faculty and staff say that they want to see a real expression of shared governance marked by transparency and trust. I hear you. When you say that it's important to honor the knowledge and capacity of our staff, I hear you. When you say that recognizing the accomplishments of our faculty is also important but not enough, I hear you. I hear you when you tell me that SDSU cares about serving this wonderful community and wants to tackle our greatest societal problems like global warming, homelessness, educational and health disparities. And I hear you when you say, even without tangible words, that you don't want me to forget about the extraordinary legacy that has already made San Diego State University a crown jewel among university systems. I could speak all day about all I've heard you say, the insights you've shared over hundreds of hours of one-on-one or group meetings. If you remember one thing from what I say today, remember this: I lead through listening. That's why I emphasize again that today is just the beginning of a longer conversation. As we move forward this year, I'll be asking you, our staff and faculty, to approach this new chapter of the university with a blank slate. I don't mean that you are to forget all the wonderful accomplishments that have gotten us to this day. What I mean is that I hope you also show up to the conversation, willing to listen, without preconceived ideas, with an open mind and with an open heart. Chris Thomas, our wonderful Associated Students President, gave me a copy of The Heart-Led Leader, the book he and his cabinet have been reading as they prepare to lead, not just with skill, but also with heart. As I read the book and thought about the time we would spend together today, one principle stood out. Whatever the question, love is the answer. What that idea says to me is that although we all bring diverse perspectives to the work we do, we share one thing in common: love for our students, love for our work, love for our research, love for our institution. I share that love with you. It propels me to listen intently to you, our wonderful staff and faculty. My commitment to continue listening is important. In a couple of minutes, I will give you a personal challenge that, if you choose to accept, will help us move San Diego State University to the next chapter of impact and distinction. But first, I want to share the mantra, the presidential vision that has emerged from my listening tour. My vision is that San Diego State University will be recognized for graduating the global citizens, ethical innovators, and compassionate leaders who will impact the future of the San Diego region and the world. How will we do this together, you ask? Gleaning from what I've heard you say, I've identified a few ways. By collaborating as faculty and leaders in order to identify and amplify our areas of distinction. By creating synergies for shared commitment among our stakeholders. By developing exemplary relationships nationally, binationally, and internationally. By committing a process of transparent and timely communication. By creating community benefits through the Mission Valley Project. By growing the capacity of Sdsu Imperial Valley. By ensuring our infrastructure can sustain the demands and challenges of today and tomorrow's educational landscape. By nurturing a culture where we listen and engage in productive dialogue, and by measuring progress with a variety of metrics, we will be successful. It's important for me that you understand that I did not show up to this campus with these ideas in hand. The vision is a result of what I've heard from staff and faculty members on this campus, from what many of you have said to me in personal and group conversations. However, I also realize that not everyone has spoken. My challenge to you is this. I want to ask that you join me on a listening tour of your own in the form of a guided self-assessment. We all have an idea of where we want to go as a division, as a college, or as a university. Knowing who we are is crucially important before we get there. As we move forward this year in this exercise of self-assessment and visioning, we will cross borders together. In the immediate future, we have important challenges to address. First, we must recognize that the only acceptable opportunity to grow is through the Mission Valley Plan. Second, we must address our growing campus infrastructure needs, both in terms of physical space and technology. We can no longer afford to ignore our most basic needs today, even as we plan for the future. Third, we must continue to diversify our revenue sources. Fourth, we must create real community partnerships that go beyond our institutional borders. Finally, we must recognize our regional position as a gateway to Mexico and to the Americas. The why may be obvious, but the how is where the work really begins. I recognize that a new presidency can create anxiety and fears. We need to talk about it. For now, let me close with this. The first time I crossed that border as a child, my mom must have read the fear in my eyes She put her arms around my shoulder and whispered in my ear, Adelita, because that's what she called me, little Adela. The border is nothing to fear, but to embrace. All we have to do is hold hands. And I can't help but notice my little grandson there. My daughter rushed out and was holding his hand. And you know, it's interesting what a hand can do when you're a small child. It can take away the fear. It can make you feel whole. It can make you see the world in a whole different way. So like my daughter who just walked out with my grandson, my mom did the same. I have to tell you, her words have impacted me in every border I have ever crossed in my life, real or imagined. Borders of prejudice, borders of fear, borders between the past and the future. We, as tenants of this sacred Kumbaya land, must embrace that all of us can stand together as transborder people. My hope is that together we will foster a culture of discourse and dialogue, that together we build a campus culture without silos. My hope is that this place, this university, will be a space where no one will hesitate to bring up a topic because they fear being labeled a troublemaker. And as an aside, my grandmother always said I was a troublemaker. I never seemed to listen. But nonetheless, I want us to be troublemakers. And indeed, I think that is your responsibility. So I also want you to know that I see you. I want you to know the dreams you have for San Diego State University are critically important to this conversation. Muchísimas gracias. Sigamos adelante. Let's move forward while enjoying this important journey. Thank you.
Thank you, President De La Torre. We've covered a lot of ground in our presentations this morning. The President's remarks will be available for viewing shortly after today on the Sdsu homepage. A sincere thank you for sharing your morning with us. We hope you will join us for the appreciation luncheon that I'm sure some people are already at, immediately following in the Lee and Frank Goldberg courtyard. During this luncheon, you will enjoy a special performance by Tavo and Mariachi 3.0. The group's lead vocalist, Tavo Alcocer, is a graduate of the School of Music and Dance, and he's currently pursuing a master's degree in Latin American Studies. Thank you again for being here, and your best wishes for a great year. Go Aztecs!